Hello, good morning. So, see the title of my stream. Um, okay, so this week has just been nuts. I've got so many things going on and distracting me and pulling me away, and my trying to get things set up so that I can make my products available again, the Mage Cage and the cases and the stuff we have, and so many other things have just been blocking my progress. It's been fun. And then, of course, I start hearing about Gemini 2.5 and then a Chat GPT 4, which just came out not that long ago before that. So I was thinking, oh, do I want to use Chat GPT 4 more often? And then I'm like, well, when are they going to make this stuff available in Copilot? When you see the only thing right now available is 3.7, although I've heard 3 mini is supposed to be good. And I don't know. What is the difference between 3 mini and Chat GPT? I thought they were like connected. They were somehow the same, but apparently not because they separate them. So I was trying to think, well, is there a way to get so I can try this? You know, I don't know how to use Gemini in. Well, apparently you can use Klein or something like that, but Klein charges you. So I'm trying to see if there's a way to use it. How to use Gemini 2.5. I don't know. Copilot hasn't put it in yet, so we can't do that. Oops. So really, it's just a matter of, I guess, the only real way to do it is to go try to do it like on their on the actual Gemini site. But again, so all these things are just distracting me right now. So it's not, and it's like, oh, how can I use this in my app? How can I do this? Is there a way to make me go even faster? Well, the answer is probably, maybe, sort of, kind of, possibly. See, there's a lot of things that talk about Gemini. Let's just see if I just go type Gemini 2.5. Our most, see, this just talks the blog, ours, The Verge, AI, Forbes, Windows, Tech, Radar, Android Authority. Anyway, I just wanted to give it a go and see how it compared to the stuff I've been using, because I have been very impressed with Claude 3.7, and that said, I'd like to figure out, well, let's see if how this works. But I don't know the easy way to get to Gemini. That's just it. Like, there's not like a straight link that goes to Gemini. It's not a Gemini.com, like ChatGPT.com or Claude.com or whatever it is, Claude AI. I don't know. They all talk to you about what Gemini can do. So some people have definitely figured out how to use Gemini. All right. Let's just go. There's this. This is just a blog, but does it give you a link to it? DeepMind. Oh, this is their little. This is, it's funny because this thing is a Google thing that everybody is loading up, right? So Claude 3.7. I don't even know. They don't do the code bench, but they seem to get beat, except for, I don't know what this SWE bench, but it seems to have a really good coding tool, coding functionality, and I'd like to try it. But like I said, I have no idea how to even. Let's go Google AI Studio. Okay, so here's Google AI Studio. Failed to list tune models, and then I've heard that there's a way that you can, like, use GitHub with it, and I don't know how to do that. So stream real-time tune library, enable chat history. Okay. Prompt gallery. developer forum to get help with the Gemini API and Google AI Studio. Can I do this? What is that? Optional tone and style instructions for the model. So how do I don't know, I'm just trying to see it. How do I, all right, what if I ask a question? How do I connect a GitHub? All right, what is the best way to connect an application code base reference and my questions? Let's see if Gemini can answer the question regarding how to help with my questions. Oh, it's thinking. I didn't really need it to think this through. I didn't need a quick answer would have been good. It says, can it answer questions? Okay, let's break down the. All right, I can do a link to, okay. If your code base is already public, share a link. Crucially, point to the specific files and line numbers relevant to your questions. Don't just drop the repo link, expect someone to hunt. Oh no, I mean, I want to connect it to you. I don't want I mean, how could I set it up on here? Optional tone and instructions for the model. All right. How do I add a GitHub project to Gemini 2.5 for project? Add the Gemini API key as a GitHub secret in your repository with you can find more information. Really? Gemini? Try adding Gemini 2.5 in VS Code using the Gemini Coder extension. Then opening the project there and having Gemini read. After you do GPTal, make Gemini, you can select any of the models. Make sure I understand how to do that. By selecting, you mean under selection menu. I've never seen that. I've just specified the models in my config and plain text. Okay. So, looks like you either need to update the transient package or GPTal. Can you check if? Huh. I don't know what they're saying, man. Maybe I'd be too impatient. How to use Gemini 2.5? I mean, it does download or install libraries to access Gemini. On this page, JavaScript, Go. Gee, that's cool. But a Go SDK, which you can install by running Go GitHub. Let's see if I can do that. Let's go to my Go application here. Oh, nope. All right, so now what? I got it! Yay! Now what? Does it add it here? No. So yeah, well, I've installed the library. Now what? So should I go do my JavaScript too, or my React? Should be the same thing, right? So let's go to my. So I'll go cd.fpfm web. Python, JavaScript. Let's do that. Oh yeah, I gotta do that. I can't even believe that's still that this wouldn't apply, right? Legacy. Peer tips. All right, so we got that installed. Now what? I've got it installed. Now how do I use it? I don't have any idea what I'm doing. So do I need to install like a extension or what? Makefile, GitHub. It didn't do any of these things, did it? Mongo. I didn't see one of these pop up as a new thing. Nope. Download or install libraries to access Gemini. Okay. Can Gemini? I don't even know where it is. I don't know what I'm doing. I have installed the Gemini APIs in VS Code. Now, how do I? I don't really need it to be overly thinky. Can we just do like regular? Or am I? Oh, it's because I'm in Pro probably. Yeah, I don't need that. Okay, soon as you successfully installed the official Google Gemini for VS Code. Have I? Probably not. Google Gemini. Is there an official Google Gemini for VS Code? I don't see it. I see Gemini Code Assist. Google Gemini for VS Code. Don't see that. Does such a thing exist? I don't know. Alright, so let's get an API key. Quickly test the Gemini API. Use code with caution. I have create API key. Do I have to like save this somewhere? Copy. go here. Gemini 2.5 API key. Okay. So billing, fee usage, yeah. Pay as you, what is pay, what is this? How much are they charging me for this? Pay tier per 1 million tokens in US dollars. Our most capable multimodal. Grounding with Google search. Free of charge up to 1 million tokens of storage per hour. Jeez, I don't think I'm doing that much. Available March 31st, 2025. Well, that's in 2 days. 2 days? 3 days. Gemini 2. I don't want 2.0 Flash. What is 2.0 Flash? Okay, well, that's great. So, all right, so I don't know anything about Gemini. It looks like it's tone changer, adjust, writing tone. Which is bigger? Test if AI knows which number is bigger. Code optimizer, find the complexity and optimize it. Yeah. Generate structured output. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm doing. Get template, API code for your prompt in different languages. API documentation, developer forum. I guess there isn't Google Gemini. Gemini code. Assist. Your AI assistant powered by Gemini. That's great, but that's 2.0. Do I want to even bother with 2.0? I'll install it just because I want to see. Maybe they've... Who is the publisher? It's Google. Why wouldn't I trust Google? Gotta trust Google. They would never do anything that was untrustworthy. All right, so where did it put it? Is that another link that just kind of popped up at the Edge tools, pull requests? All right, well, it's a thing. I have no idea where it went. Oh, is that it? Is that this thing? Gemini Code Assist. Welcome to Gemini. Sign in with Google. That's easy enough. Do you want code? Open, yeah, sure. But is there any way to make it like Google terms? How can Gemini help? I don't know. Tell me what version you're using. Sign out Google privacy settings. What version of Gemini is this? Or 2.5. So it's, I don't, in other words, it doesn't know what version it is. So I don't even know what it's using. And this is Gemini Code Assist. Does Gemini Code Assist use Gemini 2.5? Free Code Assist VS Code Gemini. Yeah, except that's March 3rd. I don't know how to use it. Everybody says, "Oh, this is how great it is." I see people trying to use it.
The release of Google's new Gemini 2.5 Pro model, which is Google's most intelligent AI model ever.
And everybody just shows you the same old la la la.
To build me an e-com website, dummy site, and you can see it's going to slowly go ahead and start generating the code for it, and we're going to be able to visualize it within this right-hand panel. And there we go. We have our first iteration of this e-commerce site. You can then actually open this up within the sandbox, and then you can actually get the source code over here, in which you can actually download and then get a better visualization of it within this sandbox. Next up, I'm gonna have it create a chatbot that is functional and with a modern, sleek design. And there we go. We have our chat assistant, our chatbot fully developed in terms of the front end for it. And you can see how quick it was. This is actually one of the main capabilities of this model. It's great with agentic work as well as quite proficient in generating code quickly, and it's something that also is capable of generating things at a cheap price, which is why many people would want to use this over many of the other models that are out there. And another reason why you would want to use this is thanks to its 1 million context window, which means that the amount of tokens it uses as well as the context it has is going to be way better than many of the other models we use, such as Claude 3.7 Sonnet or even DeepSeek version 3. Now, what I've noticed is that this model does a great job in generating HTML code, and this is where I'm requesting it to generate an HTML file that displays a colorful particle simulation of a reflection nebula. So let's see what it ends up building for us in terms of its animation within HTML. So it looks like it has generated the main page, but we're going to actually open this up in the sandbox to get a better visualization. Okay, so I finally got it to work, and there we go. We have a reflection nebula simulation, and it does seem to work, so this is great to see. Next up, we're going to generate an animation within P5GS, which is a simulation of 30 colorful voids swarming within a rotating hexagon. I'm going to actually have to export this code because I don't think it's going to be visualized.
Okay, well,
so
I don't know.
Code and showcase what it has generated. So I've gone along and I've copied the code and pasted it into this editor. Which
I guess I could just copy code in here. All right, let's stop. Let's get this work done. I know, I need to get some progress done. I was going to try to see if I can get Gemini going. I don't know exactly how to do that. This is using, it says 2.0, but I don't know, will it update? Is it auto-updating? Maybe it's not going to update, because this says as of last released on 3/27.
This is obviously a really simple app, but you can see how fast it was capable of generating this. Next, I'm going to have it create a finance tracking app that is able to let me track my stocks, and then I can visualize the performance of it.
So it's pretty new, but there's no way of knowing what it's referencing.
Sleek and modern. So let's see what it ends up generating. And there we go. We have our basic app that was generated that came with a chart as well as a couple of stocks, and then you can go ahead and add in your stock like Tesla.
Because it says last updated 327. That's like yesterday.
For you. And if you were to click on it, you can then visualize that stock. This was a simple app that was generated quite quickly. You can see where this can become quite helpful. You can
Let's
use
see how
the
smart this
expertise
is.
of this model's thinking, as well as its cost efficiency to generate easy
Gemini Code
prototypes for
Assist,
you,
okay.
like the base structure of your app that you can then work on and iterate further afterwards by simply going over to the sandbox and then copying and downloading the code. Now for the next segment of the video, we're going to be showcasing how you can locally install this. But before we even do that, we're going to need to make sure that we have the prerequisites fulfilled. Make sure that you have Git installed. This is to clone the repository onto a computer. Make sure you have VS Code installed to edit the environment variables, npm to install the dependencies, and a Gemini developer API that you can easily go over to this link, which I'll leave in the description below, and click on Get a Gemini API key. Then
I'm testing Gemini to see if it's smart enough to know what I'm doing. So how much of my code can it see?
So then go ahead and open up your command prompt, search it up, and open it up, and then paste in the command to clone the repo, and then click enter. It will then clone the repo. But now what you're going to need to do is head over to the instant coder directory. So go and type in cd gem coder and click enter. Next, you're going to need to configure the env file. So go over to this environment file by opening up VS Code. Once you have opened up the folder, you want to right click on this left hand panel and click on new file and simply name it .env for your environment variable. And click on this, and what you're going to need to do is go back to the repo and copy the command to paste in your API key. So Google _ AI _ API _ key equals your actual API key. So you can then paste in your key afterwards, and once you have pasted in, simply go
Interestingly enough,
file,
it does not appear
VS Code. After you have set your key, copy
to
the
have
npm
any
install
acknowledgement
command
of my
to install
front
all the
end,
dependencies of gem coder,
which is
or
interesting.
instant coder, and you can paste
Code
this into your
services, playbook
command prompt.
services,
This will
user
start
account
installing
services, but
everything
these are all
that
the
is
services.
necessary. And while this is installing, you can go ahead and copy the npm run dev command to then run this
Interesting.
locally and to start it up. So go ahead and paste this in, and then you're going to be able to start accessing instant coder within this local host port 3000. So go into your browser and then paste in this link, and soon you're going to be able to access it. It's going to take some time, it's going to compile, and then you will be able to access the Gemini coder over here. And guys, it works way better locally because it uses your own API rather than the Hugging Face API, which is command to paste in your API key. So Google _ AI _ API _ key equals your actual API key. So you can then paste in your key afterwards, and once you have pasted in, simply go ahead and click on file, click save, and then you can close VS Code. We have VS Code installed to edit the environment variables, npm to install the dependencies, and a Gemini developer API that you can easily go over to this link, which I'll leave in the description below, and click on Get a Gemini API key. Then you can head back to the GitHub repository for instant coder, and I want you to copy the git clone command to clone this repository onto your computer. So then go ahead and open up your command prompt, search it up.
So, all right, let's go see. This guy actually did go into this. I didn't think anybody was doing that. Fuck. What the heck? Nice. Alright, so GitHub. Let's go see what this instant coder. What is this instant coder thing? A lot of things reference it. But they're like different people, so how do I have any idea? Is that his own thing? Is that something he developed? I mean, I guess that isn't all bad, but
guide that you can easily go over to this link, which I'll leave in the description below, and click on Get a Gemini API key. Then you can head back to the GitHub repository for instant.
what is the GitHub repository? For what? I can't see the rest of this page. I don't know where he's at. Osense Viero Gem Coder. Oh, so it's like his own project. Is that who this is? Ocean Sviero? Osan Seviero? Oh, it's World of AI, whoever that is. GitHub repo, Osan Sviero. I don't know if I want to. I'm torn on the whole having it right. I don't know. I'm just. I'm wasting too much time on this. Let's move on. Let's just go do my other thing. So I am in. How does it know? You do have access to it. Why wouldn't you have access? Wait, how come it doesn't have it? I understand Web's role, but how come it doesn't have it? Am I not like... So it can't see... Huh. Interesting. Why can't it see all of this code? Can you see the page? See, it can't, for some reason can't represent, it can't see everything. It's very interesting, but it doesn't, oh, it is, what is it doing? It's explaining the entire loop. it's just gonna, what is it, looping the loop? Is it running the game? It's like, it logs a play, yards of play, blah, 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 blah. Did I get stuck in a loop of some kind? Where it's actually running the project? What the heck? Game loop block. I didn't tell it to run the thing. I don't know what is. Alright, so it can't see, for some reason it cannot see all of the other files. So you can only see the files under the FPFM Go MS. Why can you not see the files? See all under the football simulator. And see the files. GitHub. Why do they keep jumping to the top? That's kind of annoying. My error stemmed from a few factors. This is where he gives me his excuses. But this was going on, and that was going on, and that's why I couldn't do it. But really, it's not true. I can do it now. Initialize provided code from the FPFM Go. That's directly, I built my understanding based on that. And that you were only providing code from that directory, and that I was limited to only seeing that directory. I'm still under development. My own limitations. I'm a large language model, and I'm still under development. I am always learning and improving. What I can see now, confirmed. Okay. Got it. This is a full stack application of the Go-based microservice backend and a React-based front end. Backend is designed as part of microservice. gRPC microservice communicate using gRPC, MongoDB, React front end, real-time updates. All right. Yeah. very sorry for my errors, and I appreciate you setting me straight. Please let me know if you have any further questions or requests.
All right, I'll let you go this time, Smack, but don't do it again. Stupid AI. Just don't know what you're doing half the time. You're inefficient piece of crap. Just kidding, man. You're awesome. I have no problem with you at all. You help me out a lot. I've never tried Gemini. I don't know if this is going to help me because this is 2.0, and I don't. From what I understand, 2.0 is not so great. But then it does say it updated as recently as yesterday. So does that mean they're plugging in Gemini 2.5? I don't know. I don't know what this thing's using. It'd be nice if I knew, but I don't. So what can I do? So it doesn't know what version of Gemini 2.5 is. And I don't know that this can do anything more than just because it's a chat. So like this has edits, and I don't know for sure how any of that. I mean, like I've never actually tried to use the edits, but I don't think I would use Gemini 2.0 just because it's old. And I don't know what 2.0 Flash is, comparably speaking to to just plain old 2.5. I don't know what that is, or 2.0. So is 2.0 Flash different? Is it like is it a UI? I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, I'm cold. I even have my fireplace thing on, but I'll probably be hot soon enough. So let's see what I can get. Let's get some brain chugging along here to see if I can. I don't know what this will do. It'll give me a chance to try it out, if it even does anything. So far, I've pretty much been implementing my own code because I don't trust code to be changed by the AI, especially with my experience being that it tends to rewrite things in ways that irritate me. So it's one thing to get a working model, like say, hey, give me this, and then manipulate it, tweak it. Because I know it's hard to get exactly what I want. So I'm thinking about trying to use it a little bit more when I get to like, one of the things I want to do is try out getting the player part running, because I'm a couple of things I need to get going when I get the player logic built in. One is obviously I need some stats, so I'm going to have to pull in data, and that's going to take me some time. I may even have to ask it write me a tool to import my Excel data into my Mongo database so I can have some data. I wonder if that's something it can do. Yeah, that might be really good because I need to get my Excel data in, and really I'm just using old player stats. These are like 2015, something like that. Might be about the last time I updated them, and maybe even older, 2012. I don't know, but still, player stats, good enough. They'll give me what I need. So what I need is to go. Let's see if I can get something like get some data in. It'd be cool if I could get some of my data in. See if there's a way to get this AI to help me import this data. So in order to do that, I need to go here, go to FPFM. And part of the problem is too, I'm going to have to regenerate. I stutter because I'm like, there's so many things. So one of the problems of what I did with my product, my thing here, is I created this page. Page works great, right? So, it did work great. But then I started creating copies of it that did this and copies of it that did that. And then before I knew it, I had a bunch of copies of it. And this is the football experience formulas that I built. And I've moved files around, and I think I broke something. I broke it some, so now it's a matter of figuring out if I can get it fully working. So this is the app, but you see I have, this has to reference the data. No. All right, so if I go like to the QBs, see how everything is zeroed out? It's not supposed to be zeroed out, but it's obviously not quite right. So yeah. How do I get this thing to calculate again? Fill, clear, data. And it's slower than snot, so that's not great either, but it's slower than snot even now, which is bad because this was written a long time ago. You'd think things would have been faster. Now, how smart is AI at writing? Right. One of these will recalculate the page for me. It's like, I thought it was under formulas. Oh, calculate now. All right. See? It's like it's not connected anymore. It was connected. It was getting at least most of the data. What is the problem? Huh. So now I got to figure out why. I wonder what happened if I put this page. Let's go try Gemini. Let's see how smart Gemini is with a spreadsheet. This will be interesting. All right, Gemini. Let's see what you got. Let's see if this is up your repository. Up your alley. Let's try that. What did I just do? I don't know. I thought that would give it some special instructions. But all that did was somehow download it for me. I put it in there and it downloaded. I don't know. Okay. Let's try this. Oh, seriously? All right. Well, can Claude help me with this? I don't know that Claude can do this. Yeah, whatever. I do. Oh, nope, I can't use 3.7 because I have to pay so. All right. All right, wait. Might have one more option. Let's go here. I'm pretty sure I can attach things to this guy. So if I go here, can I put that in here? So do none of these support? How about just regular? Nope. Huh. So in other words, no macro-based Excel sheets. That's basically what it's saying. Yeah, we can't do XLSM. Darn garnet. Huh. All right, well. Guess I have to figure it out myself. That's the summary of that. But none of these are working. So my references All right, let's see if I can ask a simple question then. If you don't want to let me give you the code, let me ask you, what do you think? I have an XLSM that is not showing its formula results. Most likely the source file is not located where it expects. How do I fix that? I don't remember where I'm supposed to fix the source on this. That's the problem. Because see, there's definitely a source. And the problem is, I don't know. Is it in here? Source stats. You see, it's supposed to be in here. So do I have the formulas in here too? Oh, maybe it's this one I'm supposed to be opening. Let's close this one. Source stats are in here. So these are in the same. Yeah, we're not getting any data here. Enable content. Not making any progress. Alright, we'll go to formulas and say calculate now. See, it's like it's not even seeing my data sources. Why? Get stat. Stats pass XLSX. Stats pass XLXX. Stats pass data. Okay. There it is. Stats pass data. And is there something weird about that? Nope, it's right here. Do I need to open it? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I have to open it. You can't just read it. It has to be actually made available. Thought I could just open it, but maybe not. Aha! Okay, so we got some kind of stuff going on here. Still not fully functional, but it does have my numbers in here. Some things are still kind of wonky. I mean, you can still see I'm getting some, oh, there we go. Oh, what do you know? Holy moly, look at that, my whole page is loaded. Okay. Woohoo! This is kind of a fun page to look at, to be honest. Yeah, there might need some tweaks. I'm a little bit concerned about how I'm going to get this into the system, though. How am I going to port this into... All right, so I think I fixed that problem. Any ideas how I might import / convert an Excel spreadsheet full of stats formulas function in the calculation of players' skills. In this application. So we're gonna go, no. What do I look like? A coding genius? Yeah. We don't do that. We're not supported in the current version of anything. Export Excel to JSON. Oh, that's an idea. I didn't think about that. Use Excel formulas as code templates. If your Excel has formulas like blah, 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 convert them to JavaScript. Yeah, kinda. I mean, it does, but they're not, it's not as simple as that, because a lot of the functions in it are formulaic. And they reference other spots on the page. I'm gonna have to build these things. It's gonna be freaking terrible. This is why I actually considered just building my formulas here in my spreadsheet, putting in players and stats, and then just importing the finished products, just building the stats. Only problem with that logic is it would make it very difficult to tweak, edit, and otherwise, let the game manipulate some of these stats, right? So, as a clue, my formulas here are using all of these white columns are just data points. They don't have, there's no, they do have logic. Oh no, they're just reference points. These are references to certain values, but they are just data points. So it's going to get stat as a function. It's going out and reading my stats page, and it's saying, okay, well, the stats page that equals this and that and whatever. This is going out and getting that stat, right? So I'd have to import all my stats into the system. Now the thing is, ideally I would import all my stats into the system so that every time I get new stats or I create some kind of a link that uploads stats, I'm able to always have my logic built up that's going to be able to read those stats. Now, getting stats, I may have to create some kind of, like I said, I've seen that there's some tools, actually Python logic, that can pull stats and bring a lot of your stats into the system for you or into whatever. And so I may have to create a tool that pulls in stats. And then I'm going to figure out how to get all of these stats. So like I have a bunch of stats that I'm using, like this is for kickers and all of their stats, and I have, my punting and individual scoring. Some of this I don't know I use all of this, but I use quite a bit of it. This allows me to build my entire stat formulas just based on all this information. Now, to convert all of this over, I need to actually get all this data into the database. Because unless I want to be using spreadsheets for eternity, I feel like that's probably not the best way. So you can convert an XLS. I like the idea of maybe just getting it turned into a JSON, but create player class hierarchies. Calculate pass accuracy. So I have to basically translate all my formulas. Yeah, exactly. But it's going to be way more complex than it even thinks. But export Excel to JSON. I feel like I could probably get the stats into the system pretty easy. All right, let's do this. Let's see about getting the data in. Let's first see if I can just get the stats. All right, so this doesn't have, I don't think this has any formulas on it. Pretty sure this is just straight up data. All right, so what if I wanted to import this data? Oops, nope, that's not what I wanted. Nope. Attach context. Wait, what was I doing before? I thought I was doing this here. Oh, was I doing that in VS Code? I must have been doing that in VS Code. Because I tried to pull this in. Huh. Interesting. Alright, so we're going to go folder, problem, prompt, screenshot. VS Code API. Code base. I thought it could use a spreadsheet. Let's go back and check out the Gemini thing. This is an empty spreadsheet. Yeah, but that's not going to work. This is build me a calculator app. I don't want to build you a calculator. This is interesting. All right, so can this take a file? Oh, you know what? Maybe that was why I couldn't do that. I was trying to take the open file. Let's close this. And now I'm gonna go back over here and just try and drop this in here. Oh, there we go. Oh, I can't take an XLSX either? I thought it could do XLSX. I thought something could read spreadsheets. Was that Gemini that could do XLSX? I don't know. But that's not this version of Gemini anyway. Unless let's see, how do I want to do that? Okay, I have an Excel sheet of just data, no formulas as well. How can I put this data into my MongoDB? Yeah. Test option, create a data import script. Load environment variable similar to your existing services. Import into MongoDB. npm install xlsx MongoDB. Set environment variable, same as your development environment. Run the import script. Already handles game simulation with methods like, yeah, I know that. But it doesn't do anything. Schema designed for player stats. Based on your code base, I see you already using Team's collection. Here's how to enhance it with player stats. Let's do this modeling after, oops. Modeling after the game plan and coaching services. I need to flesh out the leagues and player services, which currently have on the base folder. League service.js, player service.js. Take a look. Take a look at my FPFM go/ms/coach service and my PFFM go/ms/ game plan service. I already have the PFFM go/ms/leagues. Is it leagues? And PFFM go/ms/players folders. Just need the same go structure set up. All right, let's keep them. Let's see what it did. Oops, I don't need these two though. Can I get rid of those?
These guys don't need to exist. I don't know what those are. Those are whoopses. Those can go away. But yes, let's go see what it created for my players and my leagues. Handler, main, model, service. We don't have, okay, so we don't have yet a store. We don't yet have a store or a service. Oh, these are really basic. They don't do anything. I mean, I guess they wouldn't. They don't. It doesn't even know what it's doing with them yet. All right, so let's go back. Let's say trying to decide where I want to have my data import going from my Excel sheet. Let's go ahead and add let's go back to the chat here. Player schema in MongoDB. So I have a fair number of player stats. So this is obviously not including. And I may even have more in the end if I decide to build other things onto here. Because I'm feeling like I want to build some more. The stats I built were designed for a tabletop game, right? So there was only a handful, maybe 6, 7 stats. But I could probably do a lot more. Now, I'm keeping a lot of stats. Now, don't get me wrong, the formulas are based on about 30 stats. But I can now build in other pieces into those formulas to make them more comprehensive. I don't know what it is, but I actually quite a bit like these grape ones. Just like a Welch's grape soda. Except has kind of a ghosty flavor. Which I'm not sure is a good thing. But they are, it is actually, you know, editable. Edible. Too many letters in there. I mean, it's probably editable too. I usually mix it with my other drink. That makes it edited, right? All right, so what I need, let's assume my stats are these. But see, I want to get all this data. I'm very tempted to just try to build my thing off of this thing. But that means my formulas have to get more. I have to figure out how to get everything in. I mean, like, this is data I can just straight up use, right? Yards after catch. This is just straight up getting stats. It's not, there's no calculation, but these have, what do you call them? Modifiers. That's what that 0.5 is. It's tweaking the stat. It's not that he has, oops, what happened there? Oh, I closed my page. Yeah, can I open that back up? And it's only because I really don't know that I want to. Do I want to build all these stats again? There's a lot of stuff, but I guess I'm going to have to. I mean, I really don't, it doesn't seem like it would make sense to build all my
if I get more stats, let's say like every year I wanted to put, new stats in for new players. I would have to import them into this Excel sheet and link them to my spreadsheet and then make my spreadsheet, do its thing. All right, so why is this now suddenly being turdly? Oh, there it goes. Weird, okay. So we have my data. And some of these even, I believe, go towards things like, oh, these are their overall skills. Okay, so I don't have things like intelligence calculated here. I have break tackle, speed, punt return, kick return, yards per rush, yards after catch, turnovers, IP. So if I go to my QB, now some of these get broken because they don't have certain stats. So that's why they get broken. Whoever that's supposed to be. Who is that supposed to be? Chris Redman. So a lot of these guys are like, they're minor QBs. And see, that becomes a problem too. It's like, there may not be 30 to 40, I may only have 30 to 40 quarterbacks available, to start, right? Because you're going to have who's available. And if I put 5 seasons in, like here I have 51 quarterbacks. It looks like 3, 4, 5, 6 of them are not valid. They don't even have the stats I need to make them a valid guy. So I'd have to make stuff up for them. Put in dummy values or something small. Maybe I could put in a base value to make guys who don't really have any stat in that area get something. But like you can see, the stats on this guy are just barely adequate, and he's only a $4 million quarterback. This guy's a $13 million quarterback. Now, that was Peyton Manning even in 2009. Gosh, what was that? He wasn't even a member of the Broncos yet. He was still in Indianapolis. In fact, I think it was like the next season he was out for, because it was like he was out for a year. I think it was a whole year while he had his neck surgery. Did he miss a season? I think he missed a season, didn't he? I think he did. Let's go check. I don't know. This is random derailing, but.
So, Kenneth, what's been on your mind lately?
Hey, quick question. Did Peyton Manning miss a season or a full season when he had his neck surgery?
Yeah, Peyton Manning missed the entire 2011 NFL season due to neck surgery. It was a big deal because he was with the Colts, and his absence led to their worst season in years. Got something else you're curious about?
So, yeah, 2011. So he had a couple more years before. But I have a feeling the next year, 2010, probably wasn't great for him because he was probably, having neck problems. And then he missed 2011. And we don't even know that he made it all the way through the 2010 season, right? So, anyway. So this might have been his last good season with the Colts. But you can see he was also the highest value quarterback in my stats back when I did this. So these are all 2009 stats. This is, 16 years old? Sheesh. But hey, stats are stats, man. They're going to get me through my programming, and then I can get more. Stats aren't terribly expensive, so I will add and buy and get more stats as I need to. And plus, I've heard it's possible you can maybe even get some stats online. I'm a little worried that some of these things may not be fully available anymore. I don't know. Or to some extent, I'm having trouble pinning down the availability of these stats. I've been looking around online. I'm like, well, where do I find this or that? And it's like, it doesn't work. So I may have to go back to Stats Inc. And Stats Inc. doesn't even exist, I don't think, anymore in the same form fashion. So wow, really? Stats Inc. Does Stats Inc. even exist anymore? Yeah, see, Stats Inc. died. Stats perform. Statsinc.org. Oh, maybe this is it. Nope, that's not it. So what happened to Stats Inc., the company that used to provide statistics for various sports?
Stats LLC, originally known as Stats Inc., merged with Perform Group in 2019 to form a new company called Stats Perform. They're still a major player in the sports data and analytics industry. Curious about how they're doing now?
Yeah, I'm yeah, all right. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't even have stats yet. I have a feeling all the stats I have can be got from somebody. I don't know if there's a free option. I hope there would be. I've tried to look into some things. Haven't quite found what I'm looking for exactly. But for now, now the question is, so these must be QBs? Oh, these are kickers. Oh, these are field goal kicks. Oh, okay. I'm just looking at my stats for these kickers here. What about some, is it passing? You even have fourth quarter passing. What about plain old everyday passing? This is just fourth quarter passing. Where's the rest of the passing? This guy only throws in the fourth quarter. Is there more here? Oh, there is more. Why can't I scroll it though? Is there like another scroll button? Oh, is this thing? Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, look at all those quarterback passings. Fourth quarter, shotgun, passes behind the line of scrimmage. And every one of these stats, oh, this is the passing, individual passing too. Yeah, I have all that stuff. All of these things you see, all these are built into my formulas. Every one of these stats has a place in the formula logic. So that's why I want to get these formulas in, but I got to figure out the best way to do that. I think ideally the first thing I need to do is get the stats into my page, and if I don't, then I have to build off of this, which means I won't be able to easily manipulate stats short of yeah, see, I have to get the formulas in so that the formulas can recalculate whenever I tweak things. If I change stats in any way, the formulas change, and I obviously am not going to be trying to manipulate a spreadsheet programmatically. I can. That's not the problem. It's just that would be highly unperformant, and it wouldn't work for layers of for tens of thousands of teams. That would just be silly. So yeah, I'm not going to do that. So I have to assume at least 10,000 teams. If I can get 10,000 people playing this game, I'd be happy. That's insane, right? It's like, you're not going to get 10,000 people playing your game. You can't even, I mean, many these companies out there can't even get 10,000. So if I got this out and I could average $20 for 10,000 people. That's only what, $40,000. That's not very much. That would still be considered, it'd be nice to make, well, no, that's not right. Is that right? No, that's only 10. That's a 40,000 be times $4. That'd be $4 a person. If I made $20 a person, that'd be 10 10 times 10 is 100,000. So that'd be $200,000. Now, that wouldn't be a fail. It's not a, I mean, for $200,000, it would be successful. To me, that's successful enough to make another game. If I could make it to $200,000, which is probably a pipe dream, because that's a lot. That's a big sale. And how long does it take to get that, right? So you peak at a point, you get a few thousand. I mean, having 10,000 people on there at any one time, I won't say it's a pipe dream, because pipe dreams, I mean, that's implicating that it's never happening. It's just that the success of games in general, and considering my skill at marketing, is probably not going to be great. I'd have to get a publisher, somebody who's, as BO once referenced it, or he told me, is called UA, user acquisition. So it's marketing. There is a conference that just completed. It's called Game Conference or whatever, and you go and you try to get people to buy into your game and maybe help out. And that's what they went to do. They said they made contacts, which means they didn't get what they were looking for. But it doesn't mean that, they have a game. They have a game that's already on Android. I mean, it's called Super Tiny Football. It's very much like retro football, and I think I mentioned it before. It looks pretty good, but it's all device-based. So there's no interaction between other teams or other people even, I don't think. I think the entire game is built on your system. So you deploy it, you install it, you play it, and that's all you got. I mean, there is no outside. Everything is contained within your app, which keeps it pretty basic. There's enough connection to them that you can unlock things with purchases, but any purchases you get, they're tied to the phone. All right, so I got to stop doing this. Let's close this up and go back to my task. I got to get these stats in. All right, so what if I took the stats and I put them into my first of all, what happens if I just export? Let's see if I file, export, change file type. Doesn't have. What happens if I go to JSON? Is JSON even an option? There's a lot of XL versions. Nope. JSON is not an option. All right. That's not going to work. Based on your code base, I can see you're building. Okay, so let's try putting this into my players. We'll go new file, new folder. And we'll call it seed data, just like all the others. But the difference is I'm going to go, don't say this, we're going to go here. I'm going to take this,
I didn't really want, I didn't move that, right? I just copied it. Okay. Open it back up just because I want it for my other stuff to function at the moment. All right. Let's go to here. Then FPFM go ms/players. I have an XLSX. See data. I have an XLSX containing my source player stats. I want a script that can import these files, import the worksheets in this XLSX into my MongoDB. As separate containers. Stored as title containers with the same name as the worksheet. Let's see what this is done. This might be, is this well within its ability? All right. So we'll say check. Because I don't know what it's going to do, but we're going to keep it. Because I want to look at it. And then to achieve this, we will create a Go script that reads the worksheet. That's fine. The script reads the XLSX, instructions to run the script. Place source player stats XLS file in the blah 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 folder. Update the Mongo URI and database name variables in the script to match your MongoDB setup. Install the required dependencies. Yeah, I'll do that right now. /pfm go ms, and then we will go what? Go get. No, let's just copy this. And then we need this one. I don't think I need that one, do I? I think I probably already have this one. I mean, this will probably just, it'll just try to upload it or update it if it's, yeah, whatever. Okay. Build and run the script. So, go run. Go run import XLSX to mongo.go. That's a terrible name, but I could probably just change its name because it's just rename. I don't need to say to Mongo. I'll just say import
player stats. And this one is going to be renamed as, we'll call it do this. Player stats. Player stats 2009. Right. I'm gonna go here. And somewhere in here it's probably looking at that file name. Or not. Player stats. 2009, or it'll just be named some random bizarre thing. I don't know. That's fine. That's not fine because it's called PFFM. Processing worksheet. This. I'm very curious how this is going to go. I mean, this would be nice if this gets in there. At least I get my data into the system, right? That's like the key thing. And then I have to start figuring out how to get the formulas in. The formulas are going to be fun because I'm going to have to rewrite them all. Pretty sure I'm going to have to rewrite every one of those formulas. And I don't know. There's some pretty complicated formulas. And I wrote them a long time ago, and it took me months to write them. So, yes, I could. I just wish I could do it in a much more simplistic, straight. There's got to be a way. I mean, a lot of this, it won't be that hard to convert them. It's just like get this data, get that data, get that data. But it's a lot of them. That's the problem. It's formulas built on formulas built on formulas. And so they're all doing their thing. And it's like they all reference values that are in the stats pass data. And what that does is leaves me with the problem of I got to figure out the referencing for them, right? So with the onset, what is that? With the onset of AI, there's going to be a lot of competition in the gaming world now. What am I doing? You're saying, why are you? Well, I was trying to connect my stream because I like to kind of know what's going on with stuff. But then I saw, hey, I can get a marble snap drop. So I was like, oh, variant. I have to claim by the 4th. Maybe. I don't know. I thought it said I could claim something, but I'm not seeing it. There are no items in your inventory yet. Claim drops. Manage your connection. You can manage your connections here. I don't know. Thought it said I could. But maybe I have to do something first. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm doing. It's all right. Let's go on. Let's go back to let's go back here. I says a thing. You're now eligible for this and that. Claim by April 4th. But they don't exist. I don't know. Maybe it's because I did this already and it was like a long time ago, even though that could have been last year for all I know. I probably don't even read I probably just am not reading my my stuff very frequently. All right. So, my bad. Sorry about that. So I got to figure out how to get all this in, but let's see if I can import this. Let's see if this works. So it created, I have that. In theory, this is going to work, right? So we'll just go, what is it, NPM, oops, I forgot the name. How do I run it again? It's NPM, is it NPM run import player stats? NPM run, no, not NPM, it's got to be go run NPM player stats. Oh, I'm probably doing this wrong. What is the command to run this script? So that's 2009. So if I get like 15 years, all 15 of these documents. Go run import player stats. Yep, I have that. Oops. And then it says, you may need to modify your connection string. It's my local string, whatever. Problem is, if I import this, actually, you know what? I need the import of this file to be automated so that when I deploy my application to other environments, these stats get set as well. In fact, this should be set to be automated when service starts. And import any player stats .xlsx files that have not yet been imported. Now, that's assuming I import whatever stats I get into here, but I could always update and tweak it later. But for now, maybe I want to have more, and I want to just put them in here, and I'll update it, create it, do whatever. All right, so where should I put this? This is probably, first let's create an application that automates checks for imports, Excel, add startup. This is probably gonna go in the service. I think this is probably part of the service. Oh, it's still plugging away. Still going? All right, that's service.go. Docker, create a cron job for regular updates. Service.go, but this one, it doesn't say what I'm updating. If that's service.go, what is this? Is this just a thing? Find player stats. Are they both service.go? Player service. File is the first. Should I just call that its own? Maybe I just put this into a file called like import.go or something. Initialize player stats. All right. I gotta do something about this. Kind of, it's time I pull the trigger and go see if I can fix this. New window. And then we're gonna go Twitch. And then we're going to go see if there is, how do I, so we'll go to channel, creator dashboard, and let's see, settings, moderation, auto mod ru custom. It's like Streamboo or some nonsense like that, right? Let's see if I can block something here. Messages are highly likely to be deleted by moderators or lead to timeouts and bans will be held for review. The more actions your moderator takes, the more accurate smart detection gets. Is this on? Oh, this ain't working. It hasn't gotten rid of a Streamboo message yet. Block terms and phrases. Let's see here. Streamboo. It's streamboo.com, but it has a space. And I don't know. It looks like it just says Streamboo there. I don't see any reason that it's anything else. All right, well, let's hopefully that blocks some stuff. We'll be aggressive about it. Search for term. Ambu. I've got to add Ambu to it as well. All right, well, that hopefully will fix something. Which is what, like ambulance, but if you spell if you spell with two O's. Ambulance. Alright, well, hopefully that'll limit my streamboo-ness. I don't think it's going to do anything. I feel like that's the kind of thing that somehow gets passed all the time. That's why it's always coming through. Because I have reported them like 50 times, 20 times, at least 20 times. And yeah, I've had moderate success at best. Alright, so where was I? So this is probably all part of service because this is initialize player stats. That's initial. All right, let's just take this whole thing. We're going to create my own thing. We're going to go new file. Stats import service.go. And really that's probably a store.go, huh? Probably a better name for it to be a store.go. Because it is a database thing, we're adding data. Create import tracker collection if it doesn't exist. Player stats import. All right, so initialize other components, which I don't need to yet. Create a designated import directory in your Docker setup, which I don't actually have. I don't think I even have a player's part. Create a cron job for regular updates. Nah, I'm not updating stats. I might regularly... I mean, I guess theoretically... a cron job could be interesting. Do I want a cron job though? I don't think I'm doing it that often. Like once, I mean, what, once a year? Or maybe early on I might do a few, but I don't need a cron job. I'm not updating stats. So I'm just going to be putting new stats in. These are fixed stats. I'm not like building them. I mean, any edits to the stats will happen to specific players within the specific user's environment. So, okay. So in theory, all right, what's the, there is actually something missing. Let's do a file save all, make sure we have everything we need. I don't know that I've ever run this. Let's do this. CD players. Go build that. Oh, still got a problem. Syntactically, there shouldn't be anything wrong. Oops, I need to rename this, so. Because I don't like the underscore and I took it out. I probably should keep it though. Fine. I need to go back to this guy. Here we go. Player stats. Import player stats. Let's see. I thought I did, but okay. Thought I did this. Oh, I did. It's GitHub tlig xlsx. Okay, I did that. All right. Package namespace misalignment. Package main. Package understand directory and budget. Match module and ports. Let's restructure. Wait, what am I doing here? All right. Update your service.go. gRPC handler, which I don't even have anything running in there yet. Oops, is that leagues? Oh, they're messed up. I didn't even realize it misnamed those. Well, I don't know why I'm allowing it to do this, but I do want consistency. This one's gonna have to be so much for it's kind of interesting that when you have, you know, it's Claude 3.7, but you ask it the same question twice and it'll come up with two different answers. It doesn't like do the same thing. Sometimes it will if it doesn't really think there's another option, but
Right? Okay. But still have some issues. We're still not quite there. Less errors, but still errors. Wait a minute, is this supposed to be doing... Probably shouldn't be called main. That feels like it should not be called that. I don't think I can have two mains. How am I missing that? I did put that in though. Oops, I didn't know you could do that. Where did I put it at when I did it? No, it shouldn't be missing, but whatever. Oh, yeah, that's right. Each service needs it. I put it at the parent. No, I guess that's not so good. All right, fix package structure issue. Import player stats.go. First move your import player stats to the proper package functions. Into a proper package function. Huh? Modifier service.go to use to store methods. Whoa, why is get players by team ID? Oh, get players by ID. Oh, it just built some. Huh. Alright. Main.go. And a proto file. Players.proto. I don't think I have that yet. That's new. That'll be new to me.
It's a common API player. Come on, player. What's your problem, man? Player. Dot common connection. Bloig! Kabloig! What happened? Well, that didn't work. Does that mean, do I need a type file? Yeesh. Ow, wow, wow, whoa, my shoulder is weird. Ow, oh, ah, that hurts. I didn't realize how sore it was back there. Dope. Probably going to need something of the style of whatever's at the top of this. Oops. Wait, what? API priority. Wait, did I duplicate somehow? ID request. Oh, that's user account. Got to clean up my relationships between the various services now. So it's going to go, oh, yeah, right. You can't do that. Now the question is, do I need a player object? Okay, so this is going to have to change. So I got to go to the user account. Proto, which is somewhere there. Huh. And I need to go back to the player. It's gonna have a lot more. It's gonna have a lot more than that in there eventually. Because it could be boat tons of pieces of data. I'm gonna probably import. See, that's the thing. Isn't that what it's supposed to be good at? You just put all your players and all your stats into one table. And then it just gets what it gets.
Regenerate the proto buff, yeah. Oh, you know what? I don't think my proto buff has, oh no, yeah, it does, because it's smart. I made it smart. Okay, so everybody's now functioning for the moment. Which means I can go back to my players. It's probably not going to work, but at least it's going to be less problems, I hope. We're down to 2. It's my smallest amount of problems yet. Getting so much closer. Look at this. This is getting kind of crazy, man. 145 changes since my last check-in. That's not good. Changed 100. Well, see, this will be now my 5th service I have implemented since my last check-in. It's a lot. The thing is a lot. I'm trying to get on. I wanted to compile, so I keep fixing and adding and tweaking and fixing and tweaking, and it's growing out and fleshing out and doing more stuff and slowly getting all of its parts in place. Eventually, I hope I can get this down to a more narrow, let's fix this, let's do this, check it in, let's do this, check it in. But right now, it's still fleshing out because each piece has to reference at some point the other parts of the project. And I can only go so long without the players because I can't do things without the players. The league will eventually be required for me to do things. So all these things are going to slowly start coming into place. And as I keep pulling in all the parts, it's taking more and more. What are you doing? Come on. You want to go upstairs? You get so impatient. When? I'm back. Back again for another round. All right, what do we get? What are you talking about? Share PC handler. Where's package handler? What do you mean package handler? In gRPC handler.go, you're using package handler. I am? What do you mean, man? Changed from package handler. It is not package handler. It says package right there. Oh, maybe I didn't actually save this. I should probably save all my code before I try to do a build. All right, well, we're closer. Yeah, I gotta do some line studying today, man. Well, I did read through it. We're still kind of in the we're on script bit. I'm trying to memorize things, but
Oops. Guess I don't need that. Where is my model? Why do I have model.go? What the heck is model.go? What is model.go? That's supposed to be my types.go for all my other services. So I'll tell you right now, the Copilot edits. You say, I told it build my flesh out these two services with all of the same pieces required, along formatted like all my other services. And it says, oh wait, all right. It says specifically I picked game plan and coach. It says look at these two and then make these two, model them after it. Says, oh, okay, I'll model these two after that, and here, these are the files we'll create. So I assumed it was going to use the same file names and the same stuff. Not only did it not, took no liberties with extra data, didn't put anything in there, named them different files. I was like, that's not what I asked for. I should have just did it this way, which I usually do, but my bad. And what, this is... And that's not doing the same thing, is it? It does. Why does it? That's the only one doing that too. Because this guy is using oh, that's supposed to be main. What the heck? Are all these guys doing that? Oh my gosh. He did not model it after anything. Didn't even keep them consistent within themselves. That was how bad that was. Sheesh. All right. All right. Your packages main gRPC handler.go and model types.go and blah 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 blah. Found packages main and model. Right? So what's that mean? Or main and found packages main. What does it mean? Model. Main. 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 Types.go is main also. What are you talking about? Alright, I gotta close this. Sometimes things just don't quite figure themselves out unless you close. It's like you need to close and refresh everything. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I guess we're alright. CD and go ms // get everybody on the same page if I can here. At least we won't have any lingering garbage. Now I am asking for a build immediately after opening the VS Code, which can be kind of a thing. Oh, right. So still has issues. Darn garment. I think we still have the problem of, I still think we have. What did I just do? All right. There's some store issues. We got types issues. We got lots of issues. So player is being in the same scope. Oh. I don't need his height and weight. Who keeps that garbage? I'm not even sure that's... What do I need? All right, first name, last name, age, sure. Team ID, yeah, no, that's not how it works. Players are associated to teams through... Well, I mean, a player... No, they don't get associated to teams that way. I think what it's going to be is more like there should be a team. Wait, we got teams. Because you... So we need to figure out, all right, so if every team has its own set of players, but players can be, it's like players can be owned by a user, right? So a user gets players he can put on a team. But players themselves are not associated directly to a team because they could be theoretically on multiple teams. Just because of the way it's going to be set up. Because you can put your players... You could put your players on multiple teams if you wanted to. If you happen to have more than one team, you can put your players on multiple teams. So if you can put your players on multiple teams, but your players are yours. So all the players are in the system. So when a user has their teams, and they can put players on the teams, but they also have to have their players. But oh boy, this and combine those for now. I don't think that's going to be. Then remove the player struct definition of service.go and store. Oh, store has it too. Oh, store don't have it. Weird. Okay. Service had it, but I took it. Oh, there's this. Oh, I already took it out of store. Sheesh. Add this interface to types.go. That would be weird. And so we're going to go to types.go. This goes to store. Update URI config fields in main.go. Oh, main, did they put that in there again? Oh, I really gotta get rid of that. This is not a thing. What part of this is commented out for a reason? Does it not understand? That's definitely not a thing I need. Oh, I gotta go create the player URI config. Oh, I haven't created a URI even for this for this port. Okay, so players and leagues. I gotta go to the URI, which is over here in the custom m.go. Nope, not env. Config.go. Nope. Oh, env local. Aha. Coach, simulator, user account, streamer. Okay, guess it doesn't. Player underscore ADDR. Alright, and then we have to do league ADR. Why do they keep thinking I need a gateway gRPC ADDR? Probably should be players. Oops. Because I named the services players and leagues, it should probably be the same. Oh wait, this one is supposed to be players, leagues, and that one is supposed to be coach. All right. Well, we are slowly with an emphasis on slow, getting closer. And I think my config. Oh yeah, I gotta do this. So I gotta do a coach. Don't care about this ready port. In fact, I am inclined to just comment all this out. Wait, I don't have the coach in here? Oh, the coach is at the top. All right. No, it's not coach. Never mind. That's totally wrong. I thought I was going to put the right one in. Leagues. Leagues. You're right. Come on, give me the code. You know you want to. All right, there it is. And then I gotta go up here and I got streamer, user account, coach. Don't care about this ready port junk. If it'll take it, we will toggle it out. And then we have to go player URI and league URI. All right, where are we? What happens if I go run this now? It's probably not going to work, but at least I'm closer, right? Got less problems, maybe. Stats import. Oh, you know what? I think I might do. And I'm tempted to pull this out of there. We don't need this up here though. The problem is when I built the other ones, partially on my own, and then I try to have AI help me, help me. I mean, it actually did more damage than I probably would have been. The only difference is I don't like the way I was doing it before. Is I copied the entire service, and then I just did a replacement of keywords like playbook now became players or league. And that was a lot of problems. I ended up with a bunch of functions and garbage I didn't want. Then I had to go through and delete and figure out what didn't need to be there. So I said, all right, well, let's try and build them by fresh. And we didn't quite get there either. Add the import stats from Excel method to your store struct. Oh, so my store struct, it's one of those. Geez, it does as much as the, wait a minute. Because it's like, why would I want to pull this entire function over here? I want this separate. Fine, we'll just do this. I'd rather do this. I just kind of want to keep it out because it's kind of a, well, it's a big, it's a big function. Well, I know dbconfig. Why isn't it? I do find that if I'm working on it, I solve issues quicker once I get going. But if I start leaning on AI, I'm finding that I lean into it and it's like I'm not seeing the errors as quickly. It's not good. So there are benefits and disadvantages to AI. You both get pluses, but you can find yourself looking at it going, it's like you start looking at it from a different perspective. You're looking at it as from, let's fix AI's output and just let it keep doing the output. It's kind of like being a lead developer who's teaching a younger developer, and you're just kind of sitting over his shoulder, tracking and watching and trying to fix what he's doing. But at the same time, if you sat down, it would take you a second to orient yourself and start actually coding yourself, because you've been so long letting something else do it. You haven't got that hand-eye integration with your understanding of the code. And I think that's just one of those, you know, you have to get yourself, I don't know, on that page, I guess. You can always tell where there's AI if you leave the comments in, add this, leave that. And, and you're just kind of going in there, go, oh, you're, so you gotta be careful about what comments you're grabbing. Sometimes they're useful, you know, informational, and other times they're instructional that you don't need to keep them. It's just telling you where to put stuff. And yeah, you can kind of get off the path. Yay! My players function is now loaded. Okay, so now theoretically, if I run this now, I should end up with a bunch of data in my database. Let's see what happens. Oogly moogly. All right, well, let's go look. It does say it imported everything. Yep. All of my data. Oh, that's kind of... Oh, no, those were all actual tabs. I have 33 players. And this is all the information from those players. Whoa. Oh, that's one player's stats. That's like one record. Huh. Does that make sense? These are all supposed to be one record. I mean... Is this setup creating a separate container for each type of stat? Best solution for storing these stats in a NoSQL DB. Not having a lot of experience in NoSQL. Would it be more efficient to store all the documents in one container? Title the document is the all right, separate collections for each stats category. Documents with similar structure but different fields per stat type. Pros of your current approach. Simple one-to-one mapping from Excel sheets to collections. Easy to query a specific stat category without filtering. Natural organization that mirrors the Excel structure. Many collections can be harder to manage as your database grows. Difficult to run queries across multiple stat types. More complex to relate a player's stats across categories. Potential performance issues with many small collections. Single player stats collection with a stats type field. Player ID, player name, team, stats type passing. Recommend changes to your import process. Modify your import functions to save all stats to a single collection. Okay, headers, documents, for row. So what does that mean? I have to delete all my tables? Probably should try it. I mean, I can always go back, right? In theory, I say I can always go back, but can you? Simulators, route action type, play type of plays. Player stats imports. I don't even know. What the heck is player stats imports? That's like its own document. Weird. Oh, those are the sheets. Alright, so if I were to do this, can I grab multiple items? No. How do I drop all these tables? I have no documents in players, whatever that's supposed to be. There is the issue of, I mean, it'll fix some things. It'll doing it this way will fix some issues with crossover. That's the wrong one. So like all these passing ones, like fourth quarter passing, right? Well, there's also shotgun passing. We're gonna have different guys doing different things, right? Passes behind the line of scrimmage. Why do I only have one guy passing behind the line of scrimmage? Oh, it's just not showing. I don't have that many guys throwing behind the line of scrimmage. That's crazy. That's not right. It's only 21 guys throwing behind the line of scrimmage. Oh, that must just not be everybody. For whatever reason, I only clicked on part of it. Ah, there we are. There's the rest of them dirtlets. I knew there was more. Okay, so anyway. The question is, now, the thought is, okay, here's another thing. Does this even have my, oh, it does, individual defense. I have individual defense and individual defense too. Is that it? I only have two defensive, well, there's a lot of pages on here. Passing, oh, rushing. Rushing is running though, fumbles. Team passing, team rush defense. So, I mean, I guess defensive stats are kind of consistent, aren't they? It's tackles, interceptions, but everybody has them. If you're on defense, you're either going to be, you might be good at some things and other things, but is it, offense doesn't keep, or defense doesn't keep track of certain skills at the same level, right? I mean, you're not going to, you know, your fourth quarter, I mean, theoretically you could do stuff that makes, like, maybe you're a, it'd be cool to kind of have some kind of attachment, a player's attachment to the time of the game that they play in, or maybe in games where they're leading that the guy plays better, or, you know, something like that, where you get some kind of connection to how they are affected by momentum, or who plays. The thing is, when a team's doing bad, the team's doing bad, right? How often is there like a superstar who's having a great day in spite of a terrible day for the team? You know, your team's losing by 30, but yet he's got 5 sacks. I mean, it happens, but it's probably pretty rare. So most everybody is affected by, you know, momentum shifts. Things are going really bad. Just things are going really bad. It just sometimes works out that way. Now, it could be that maybe your guys are playing bad, but it could also just be that maybe the other team is just that much better than you that day. I don't know. They're getting the blocks. They're hitting things. It's just not going your way because there are just things that don't go up your way in football. Sometimes it doesn't matter how good you are, how great your guy is. You could dominate the world, and one day he just can't find his way around the tree. You know, those guys are always in his way. He's not sacking anybody. He's not tackling anybody. He's just not able to break that barrier. Just things aren't falling like you'd want. So what's the easiest way? I have to go through and drop these all manually. Oh, that's gonna suck. Suck. All right. Drop collection. Oh, all right, let's just do it. Yeah, I'll do one more thing to this before I try to implement it. I think I also need to create a, let's put it this way. How would you recommend I does this thing, let's see what else I do. Does this have, I think it does. I think there's one that's just players, right? Games played, kicking, punting, punt returners, positions. What is this? I don't even know what these are supposed to be. Statistical position category equals defensive back. Defensive combine. What is this field supposed to be? Not everybody has it. Is like an alternate name. Last name, first name, but not everybody has it. Far Brett. Why are there some guys like Kerry Davis? Like everybody's just got, this is just their first name, last name for whatever reason. Brown Aaron. I mean, what is this? TDs? I mean, some guys have them, some guys don't. Hey, nobody has them. I don't even know what that is. Some guys have sacks. Nobody has touchdowns, apparently. Doesn't matter what their position is. How many rows is there on this thing? That's a lot. 964 I have in here. That's quite a bit. And the related positions. I don't really need to delete this because this is not even the right cell, to be honest, but All right, let's dump these. We're gonna get rid of all of these. All right, so we're gonna just drop the collection. Oh. Oh, are you serious? There's got to be an easier way. I don't want to go through here and type every one of these names out. Any suggestion how to quickly drop all the tables I just created? In my DB. I mean, I could drop the whole database because everything rebuilds when it comes back up. Probably be a good test. If it doesn't exist, everything creates. My thing is, I don't know that my plays have been set up as defaults yet, though. I said tables. It's like, what? I know, no SQL. They're connect your MongoDB instance. Switch to your database. I guess that's a good idea. Do it based on leading values. I don't want to use a Go script because that's like too permanent. I mean, so can I go to my terminal? Let's go here. Ah, maybe it used the wrong password because it's probably looking at the wrong environment variable. Nope. Oh, but I'm using local probably. Aha. Alright, so I gotta go paste this thing here. And then I gotta go take this password, which is the actual one I want to use. Because we're using local database, not dev database. It's a problem with passwords for every environment. But the advantage is I don't have... I don't have to worry about having stuff that's going to be, you know, hacked. Because it's all on my local system. Because they're different for every environment. Aha. Alright, so that connected. Now we go use FPFM. And then we do this thing. Done. Woohoo! That was way easier, man. I'm keeping that puppy. But let's do that. Get rid of that. And then we'll just take this piece. And I will put this over here in my MongoDB commands. Drop lots of tables. Well, player tables. In this case. It's the funny thing is I'm about to rebuild all these tables in a totally different way. But if nothing else, it gives me an idea how to do it when I want to do it later. All right, so let's go ahead and go back up here. All right, so what I do need to do, so before I import the data per the code above, let me give an overview of what I will need from this data for the purposes of this game. Okay, so first one, all the data needs to be associated to a player. Each player imported will be designated as a source / default player source or default player. Two. When a user gets a team, they will get their first team automatically when they create an account. Any players later added to that team will be duplicated in the system and associated to that user. No, so when a user gets a team, nope, that's not right. It won't be associated to a team. When a user gets a team, let's try that again. Users will get their first team when they create an account. Three. Users will also be given a base set of the players imported occurred during the intro to the game. These players will be duplicated and associated to that user. With all the same default stats. The reason for the duplication is so those players can have their stats change over time according to the league they are. Question is, do I allow player stats will be only affected player stats will only be able to be affected when they're part of a league. Huh. So but there's other kinds of stats you can have. That would make them able to be associated outside of a league. So if, like if they're put on a team, they get, so they have their base stats always. They always have their base stats. When they're put on a team, they still have the base stats. So, but they only ever base stats. Okay, let's clear that up. Okay, so let's try this again. I may even have to, let me actually write this down. For my own design purposes, I need to have this down somewhere, and I can, let's go like this. We're gonna go Gemini, microservices, blah, 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 game. Architecture, no, it's not architecture. Security, so it's game info notes. All right, let's go here. Ooh, nice. Play card, playbook, players. Player card? No, players. Yeah, new page. Players. Okay, so we're going to define how these are going to work. So we have initial. All right. When imported, players will exist as default or what did I say? Default or what? I guess if I can't remember, then default is good. Source, oh, source data. It's default or source. When imported, players will exist as default or source. Players will uniquely be identified by their a player ID. Which would be something like player year oh 1. Sure. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way, but we'll do it like that. Okay. I mean, that'll be good enough. I mean, we know who the player is. They'll get an ID, year 001. When a user creates an account, they will immediately... Actually, maybe they don't get a team right away. Maybe they have to build their team because they're going to get some players. They will, during the course of intro to the game, be given a set of players. Which will be create a player collection for that user. Player collection. This is one of those things I would like to be able to try out with the latest greatest Gemini 2.5 just to see what Gemini would do with this, because this is creating this is going to create a lot of code, or it could. When imported, players will exist as default or source. Players will uniquely be identified by player ID, which would be something like P year 01. When a player creates an account, they will, during the course of intro to the game, be given a set of players, which will create a player collection for that user. Player collection is a set of player IDs that, let's see, player collection is a set of player IDs that the user has access to, but also all the non-game features, how about non-play stats, such as collection level. I want to be a collection level? Sure, collection level. How about collector level? Collector, or how about such as collection related attributes, i.e. Play XP, play XP not the same as XP earned to improve stats in gameplay. What else? Awards used to track awards that player has earned while in the player's collection. Across all the teams, across all the teams and games it has played. Etc. So I wonder if it'd be good if I pointed these things out. Let's make this simpler. For my purposes, it's not going to be one big word anyway. When a user creates an account, they, not they will, during the course of intro to the game, be given a set of players. When players are first given to a user, this will create a player collection for that user. Player collection is a set of player IDs that the user has access to, but also all of the non-play stats such as collection-related attributes. All right, what else will this give the player? It will give, all right, so, all right, next thing, when a user adds a player to, I'm starting to think I want the user to create their team in a league. Even though they can still do head-to-head and all that stuff, I'm thinking a team will get created when they join a league. Yes, they'll get a team. Everybody gets a team, but you got to join a league. That's how you build your team. This way, when you build your team, it can fall under the rules of the league, which is what I'm thinking is that might be how you get your first players. You join a league, and you get to pick your players. But what I'm going to do is have a logic set where you only get X number of players. You can have it auto pick your team. But basically, you'll do a draft, which is going to give you exactly the number of players you need. And the logic being that the logic in the game will make sure that you can't, you're going to get a salary cap, what you can get, and you got to stay within that salary cap. But it's going to be pretty generous. It's going to be set up that you can only get the 24 players that you actually need to function, right? You need a kicker, a punter, 11 offense, and 11 defense. That's all you need. It'll just give you the basics you need to run a team. And as a result of that, you will have your 24 players, and you can have it auto draft. You could do whatever you want, but that's basically you get to pick all your players. The game will be set up to kind of make sure that there's a limit to how the salary breaks out. So it's going to put in a certain number of team players, and then each time you join a league, you could theoretically get a set of new players. So, and they go into your collection. You just have those players available to you. So you could theoretically join a bunch of leagues and get a bunch of players. But your first players are free. Other leagues and the teams that you get, you'd be paying to get another team. Because you don't really need another team, because you'll be able to do head-to-head and all that other stuff with the team you have. The idea is, too, that you're going to eventually be able to get things like, you'll be able to get more cards throughout just playing with one team. You're going to keep getting them through free agency, through possibly even through trades, through draft picks. You're going to be able to get other players. Now, after those first ones, though, you don't actually get, I think what it's going to be, I think I decided that you don't actually get cards that join your team. You earn them. So if a player is on your team at any point in other games, you don't actually just automatically add them to your team. Ooh, I got that. I can dump this team and go buy another team and just get all those cards and complete my collection. It won't quite work like that. Your first cards will be fully yours and all there, but over time you need to put the other players in and you start building up card experience for all those cards, and they can eventually end up in your collection as you earn them. And the more they play, like if you get some good cards, you'll be playing them all the time, and you'll complete your collection with all the players that are on your team. If you have certain, maybe I'll have certain like things that can happen if you win a game, you get all the players that contributed get some kind of bonus. If you just do things that you can kind of accelerate those cards as they become more and more and more part of your team. Your bench warmers, on the other hand, maybe not. Now you can get full cards through other ways. You can get experience, you can earn rewards, you can play this, play that, get experience that you can use to either accelerate and or buy cards that you already have on your team, or you can try to get them from other means. It's just like XP that you'll be able to use throughout the game to try to get cards you actually want in your collection, which you can start improving and making look cool and doing different things, getting all the extra enhancements that go along with those cards. And also, of course, you can't, if you don't have them in your collection, you can't put them on another team. So if you get another team, you can start the process. You can put any card you have onto the other team, assuming that that's how it builds. But you won't be able to. Any new cards you get, you're not going to get a new set of cards with a new team necessarily. You'll get the cards, but they won't be fully charged. It'll take time to get them charged up to be yours. It's just kind of the idea there is to kind of keep, again, not making, the goal is to not make buying, not make it a pay to win. Oh, I buy 5 teams, I get 100 and some players, and I can put them on team 6 and just be able to build this massive team right out the gate. It's like, no, you have to still earn your players like everybody else. Now, yeah, you may have more players to work on, and therefore speed things up a little bit, because you'll have multiple teams, and all of them will be building up their experience, where you maybe eventually can fill up more cards if you're doing well with your teams. All of them, the more you win, the more you get. You can still get even when you lose, but it's the rewards of winning, right? So, all right, where was I? Let's go finish my thing. All right, so that. All right, when a user adds a player adds a team to a league, either by joining or by I want to make it so there's enough players that everybody's likely to have different players. And I'm thinking that in the course of the draft, because you're not going to have, you'll have 24 players, but you, I'm getting all kinds of good ideas. I'm going to have to write some stuff down, but as I get to that point, I'm not there yet, but we're getting there. When a user adds a team to a league, either by joining or creating a new league, they will be able to add players to that team. When a user gets a team, either by joining or creating a new league, they will be able to add players to that team. Once players are added to a team, their base stats will be duplicated to their player record. Player record, player document will be duplicated to their player document. To be made unique to that version of the player or progression. When added to a player's team, the player's base stats will be adjusted when added to a player's team, the player's base stats will be adjusted to a reference amount? No. When added to a player's team, the player's base stats will be adjusted to a down no, because I'm not putting them all in as rookies. They're coming in at a certain stat. Maybe I don't adjust them down. I'm trying to think, if you get a player, you're not bringing everybody in as a rookie. That'd be building up an entire league out of rookies. That'd be silly. So why would I adjust down everybody? kind of difficult when you're playing with real stats. Like if you're making stuff up, you could do whatever you want, right? Just you could set their potential. This is this is where they're going. Hmm. And every player has to come in. Well, like if you draft a player, they come in as rookies, but we don't want to build an entire team, entire league out of rookies, right? I mean, theoretically we could. That means everybody in the league is building off of rookies, which would be weird. Uh, how would that work? If everybody, then you have like these potential levels, but then it's only what you have certain. What if you've only got a player in there that's got 2 years, so his potential's what? After 2 years, it's got to keep growing. So even if you set it up as a fraction of his 2-year potential, that's what 50% or some fraction that's below. You're only going to go up a little bit each year, but you can't like it can't be significant. So you drop everybody down a fraction per year. You try to adjust slash randomize, allow stats and such to improve. But even after 1 year, that means nothing. What if he's a 15-year vet? Everybody starts off as a rookie. While his potential is capped at his 15-year vet, which means he's not going to have any good years in between. See, all that stuff doesn't make sense. Adjustments can happen. You can improve. The assumption is players improve, right? But stuff can hinder, and not everybody's going to always improve that much. So you might be running a guy who's kind of doing this bit. He's not quite making massive improvements. He might even go down in some things, but a little bit. Some guys might have a little bit higher improvements. Some guys might even degrade, depending on injuries and how much they play. They may not do as much. But overall, your stats got to do this. I mean, as a rookie, you might do something like this. Granted, guys who hang around keep going up, but you have a great year. You're not going to just keep going up. It's not like you shoot into the roof. Barry Sanders was awesome, but he was awesome at the same basic level. He might have done this a little bit, but that's kind of how it went, right? It's not like he was just straight uphill. It was, okay, he's fantastic, and now he's just always fantastic. He's maybe doing this kind of stuff. But so ultimately, the idea is that, yeah, you can improve and certain things get a little bit better. And ultimately, a lot of it is just like, can you keep your guy in the same state? Can you give them certain tweaks and bonuses and things that can kind of help them maybe let their experience matter more? The longer they've played, maybe that'll have a better effect on them. But it may or may not mean anything to their physical abilities, or maybe their physical abilities go up, but they're not necessarily a guy who stays on top. Because you can have, plenty of football players have. There has to be times when even when you get that guy you think is great, and he just can't perform, just can't do it. He just doesn't have a good go of it. Maybe there's a thing that brings him down while he's playing. He's got bad family life. Who knows? You never know why a superstar goes to another team. Look what happened with Russell Wilson. He was supposed to be a great player. Went to Denver and basically tanked. Was he tanking because Denver had a bad team? It could have been. Maybe that was it. Maybe. But then he went to Pittsburgh and didn't do all that great over there either. He hasn't done anything beyond play mediocre. Now, is that because his teams weren't great? Maybe, but he had decent years during those last couple of years at Seattle. And their team wasn't good. They were pretty mediocre, short of, him being there. So what does that mean? I don't know. There's a lot of, I still think I want it to be kind of realistic that your guys aren't always going to get better, and just because you keep them on your team doesn't necessarily mean. Alexa, turn on desk lamp. Alexa, time to stream. Whatever it is, I can't seem to get things to not look weird on my screen here. So I apologize. This light is really bright and it's cloudy, so it's like I'm having this giant bright white light in my face, so it's making me look weird. And I've also got a big bright white light on my screen in front of me. Anyway, so there's a lot of questions as to how I can make it. My goal is realism, right? Get a game going where you feel like you're. Sometimes you get that big. I'm always going to use Russell Wilson. So somebody writes me and complains, I just paid $100 million for this guy who's supposed to be really good, and he's been playing like crap. I'm like, huh? So you got Russell Wilson? I was going to say that. 20 years down the road, somebody's playing my game. They're going to go, I've been playing your game, but man, I just traded for such and such dude, and I paid a boatload for him, and he's playing like garbage. I'm like, you got the Russell Wilson of the. He's going to be like, what? Who's Russell Wilson? I'm like, it happens, man. Maybe your team's not good enough to support him. Maybe he doesn't have any synergy with the players you have. You have information. With this game, it's going to be interesting because you have information that in the real world, you don't have. You can try to guess. I mean, like, is this guy personable? Do you think he's got, does he have a, what do you call it, a rapport with other players? Does he easily get along, make friends? It looks like he did. He made a couple of friends really fast when he joined the team. Maybe he's got good rapport. But it's always appearance. And I've got to remember to create things that, even though you see this in a player, it's not guaranteed. See, this is one of the things I think a lot of games like this, they give you certain types of stats, and they are that. So it'll say something like, this guy's got a high morale, or he's really good at this or really good at that, emotional type things. Like say, he's got high potential for, making friends or high synergies or whatever, But again, the trick is it's got to learn to be, it's a potential. It's there. He has done really well. Maybe he's made good friends. Maybe there was something unknown, some unknowable effect of why this person made friends with those people. Maybe there's something you didn't quite see. And then when other people joins your team, or you bring him onto your team, and you realize, ew, this guy doesn't get along with anybody. he just doesn't have that anymore. So now your view of him is X, and so you trade him away, and he goes and makes friends right away on the other team and becomes a superstar. You don't know, but there could be things that everything doesn't matter what the stats are, has to be in flux. It has to be something that you don't know for sure. There's maybe your guy is improving over the season. Maybe he's just having a really good year. He's getting that mojo. He's got that synergy and morale, and his life at home is great, and he's just on a roll. But next season, he's back to baseline. Maybe that's kind of what players need to be. He's like, yeah, you can do some physical training, and there can be certain things, and certain stats will come back up. But you could try to lock in. Like maybe he did spend a lot of time in the off season, and he really cranked, and he got a little faster, or a little stronger, or he's seeing the field better. He's learning, gaining experience. So some things are better, but maybe during the season his stats kind of went as he got better, he gained some improvement, and he really just had a great year. But then, those stats settled. He's back down to, uh, season momentum, season whatever. You got that team synergy, all that stuff kind of goes down a little bit, even though he's still on the same team, and maybe a lot of that stuff can power you back up and have a good season again. But things like injuries or a couple of losses, things like that can break a lot of that stuff. And sometimes just a season off can do that stuff. You never know. But you're hoping that the improvements your team made, a couple of trades here and there, blah, blah, blah. But your guys don't get a guarantee. You're not going to always get what you think out of players. Now, granted, it could just be that the other team's beating you. That happens too. When added to a player's team, the player's base stats will be adjusted. See, I want to say adjusted down, but I don't know if I can do that. I really am not sure how to do, short of making everybody come into the league as a rookie. And that still doesn't give me much leeway. If you put them all in, maybe you only get like a few cards to start. Like your collection will get a few random cards. Then you can either. Thing is, I think it's better just to say you add them. And so you might be able to draft pick, some really good player out of the draft. And then I don't know if I really want to have 22 draft picks. 24 draft picks on the first time you play. That's a lot. I could just give it an option. You can pick your team. You can draft your team, or you can just let the system do it for you. And you'll be given enough points to maybe level up however many cards you want. Not, like maybe you can level up 5 cards. And once they're leveled up to level 1, they're in your collection. Level 0, you have to charge them up. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out where they start. I think they're going to have to start with their stats, whatever they are. And then they adjust or don't adjust. I got to figure out how to do potential. Because not everybody's going to have the same potential. Maybe by draft pick they get different potential, but not everybody's going to realize their potential. I got to figure out some complicated calculations. I'm going to have to figure that out because I think if you get a rookie, I know like Retro Bowl, when you play Retro Bowl, you only get rookies to start. Your whole team is rookies. It's just what it is. But the thing is, the other teams are not. So you're out there playing with rookies. I'm hesitant to make that be the same on my game. I got to come up with a good solution though. There's got to be a good solution here. If everybody starts off with rookies, but they're using real life player stats, that could hone their potential, which means they can get to that by that year. But that doesn't really fix their potential, because if it was a rookie and you downgrade it just 1 year because you got the rookie stats, so it's whatever they did during their rookie season, which could have been nothing. But that doesn't mean they're going to be bad, right? It just means they didn't do anything. It just means that their potential is not realized. Most rookies aren't great in the NFL. So everybody you get in the first thing will be 1 to 15 years. Whatever the players. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Gosh. This is an important piece here. I gotta. How am I gonna do players? Most people. How does Madden do it? Madden just gives you the players as they are on. You just play. I don't know how I don't know how a second season. Let's go talk to my buddy. I haven't talked to him but once today. I haven't asked him anything significant. Let's see if they even knows. I mean, this is like arbitrary information.
Hey, Kenneth, I'm here for round 2.
In the game Madden 25, or it doesn't matter which version, does Madden have seasonal drafts, and how are those players determined?
Yeah, Madden has drafts in their franchise mode, which is a highlight for a lot of players. Basically, you can draft new players in the off-season to build your team. The players in these drafts are usually fictional, and their skills, potential, and even their names are randomly generated. It's pretty cool because it adds an element of surprise and strategy to the game. Do you play Madden often?
No.
Gotcha. So, what's your go-to game or hobby instead?
You know, I wouldn't mind answering some of those questions if he actually remembered anything you said. He's just conversational, right? But to answer those questions, it's like if I came back later and said, "So as you know, I'm a football fan," and he'd be like, "Huh? Oh, good to know." It's like, so I don't even bother answering those questions. One of these days, AI is going to start being able to remember things, and then as you tell it, it'll get to know you better and know your likes and dislikes, and be able to respond to you according to those things, and maybe provide things. I mean, it's kind of what marketing tries to do now with cookies and all that stuff, right? It's like trying to track that. Now, how I feel about that, I think it's cool to the point that if it was a personal assistant. I don't like the idea necessarily that anything that it gets from me or learns from me is immediately shareable to its boss in the sky, Microsoft, Amazon, whatever. I mean, I don't mind some of the marketing things like you get on websites, such as customized ads. To me, it's like better than you're going to get ads regardless, right? So it might as well be something I like. And if they're basing it on the fact that I've looked up football jerseys and they're giving me things related to football, I suppose that's better than nothing, better than getting stuff related to pantyhose or something, because obviously I don't need any of that. Well, I mean, whatever. Not obvious, I suppose, to some people, but for me, I don't want that. So it's like I like the customizable advertising to an extent. But if you're talking to an AI, it's asking you questions, getting to know you. I just feel like that's fine if it had some discretion as to what that's saved with. It should be totally saved locally. All that information is local. It stores that just so that it can interact with you better, but it's in no way shareable to the outside world. So when you ask those questions, that'd be kind of cool, because then when you're talking to it, it can actually converse with you, knowing your interests, knowing the things that are helpful to you. Maybe it does do some marketing. I mean, I can understand that. It's like it knows you are, says, hey man, I saw this thing. You should, if you're, just in case you're interested. And said, but as long as it's not trying to do that all the time. It's like if a friend of mine goes, hey, I saw this cool thing. I know you're like a fan of X, Y, or Z. Yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I'll check that out. That's cool. As long as it's something that appeals to me. I know they're going to eventually try to work stuff like that in, but I'd rather the AI do it on its own. Like, it has this information, and then it browses the web and comes back with information, rather than sharing that with anybody. It's just like it found this thing out there, like it was doing it in its off time, and it went out and found these things that might be interesting to you. It's like, it's good for those sites, but they're not actually benefiting necessarily, because it's not their ad is not the thing doing it. It's the system trying to be a good UI, a good assistant. But not sharing it with Microsoft, not sharing it with anybody. It's just going out and doing this thing.
Evergreen Health would like to talk to Ken Ramon.
Hold on, I got to take this call.